So, like I say all the time, I'm a YouTube guy. I love to watch YouTube, and I was seeing this story about O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'll be watching this show a lot, man. And he did a topic about this chick. And I saw the interview, but it was this chick who, she's a Christian, and she makes pretty good money. I think she does hair or something like that. And she wants a high-value man. But before I go there, she has 3 kids. 3 kids. And she wants a high-value man, but at the same time, she don't want a man with kids.
Interesting.
So, I guess, for me, I thought that was kind of weird. How can you expect someone to come in and want to take care of your kids, but you don't want the man to have any kids?
So she doesn't want him to have kids?
She don't want the man to have kids.
That's it? That's her standard?
That's her standard.
Oh, okay.
She don't want the man to have kids at all.
Yeah, because it's that video that you sent me, correct?
That's the video I sent you.
That guy's show. Yeah, because I checked it out, and she said that she was like she said she was the leader of the single mothers Bible study
of the Christian
at her church.
At her church.
Yeah, and she said something about how like if a man's divorced, she can't deal with him because
she don't want him to have kids. Yeah. Oh yeah, she didn't want him to be divorced either.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be divorced either, and I was like, so he can't be divorced? What does that got to be? She was like, she doesn't want to deal with a guy who has kids or whatever because of baby mama drama.
So did she explain how she ended up with 3 kids?
Yeah, she did. She talked about it. She got pregnant by a dude that's in jail.
I'm surprised she actually explained it.
Well, she didn't explain it. She just said that she had. She has a kid her kids are by this dude that's in jail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
you have a jailbird, but then you want to tell this dude he can't have a kid. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to figure out, like, where do these women get off of having all this type of... They have, like, I get it that people have standards, but some of this stuff is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, you can't ask somebody to have something that you're not even willing to have. Like, you're not in the same position.
Yeah.
It's just... Like, if she didn't have any kids and everything and she's making pretty well, I can understand that you may want some of the same things that you have going on. Because you didn't make a mistake to have a kid outside of marriage or anything like that. So you expect the guy that you're going to date not to have that. But you have 3 kids. And I bet you never been married. So how are you going to judge somebody else from having a divorce, maybe having kids out of that marriage, and you don't want anything to do with that guy?
Yeah. Well, one, you don't really have much of a leg to stand on. You don't really have a good argument there to really say that you want somebody that is perfect when you're not perfect. And 2, you just it's one of those things where, like, 3 kids, it's going to be hard enough for you to find a person, and then you're putting more limitations.
I mean, like I said, she limited herself.
She's putting more limitations on herself by saying that she doesn't want somebody that's divorced.
Yeah, she's limiting herself because
has kids or whatever.
Yeah. But women do that all the time.
Yeah.
They limit themselves, and they wonder why men don't have such a hard time, finding a woman, because we have such a big pool to choose from because we're not, completely being picky about every little thing.
Some of us aren't. Some dudes do.
Some dudes are picky.
Some dudes put some limitations on themselves.
But every man put a limitation on it. But it's the thing is, their stuff is so, like, ridiculous. Like, you're like, really?
Well, it's almost like you have to pass a test. It's almost like you have to, they get this like formulated test made up in their head, and you have to, this is some shit you didn't study for. They just present it to you, and you got to pass that shit. And if you don't pass, no pass, no ass.
I wouldn't pass, but I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't care though, because the thing about with me, I wouldn't even really have my kids involved in that relationship until it's to a point to where I feel like we could be on that level anyway. So for her to say she wouldn't date a dude because of baby mama drama, they wouldn't have any problem with my ex-wife because you wouldn't be around my kids anyway.
Yeah, you don't even have to meet her.
You don't even have to meet her.
Yeah.
Because I I'm just saying it's not. I mean, what do you need to meet them for? Until you get serious with a person, they shouldn't even really meet your kids anyway. In my opinion,
I agree with that.
Yeah, in my opinion. So.
And kids, they're very receptive. They get attached. They learn from the people around them. So whoever you bring around your kids, they're gonna pick up habits from them. They're gonna you got to make sure that whoever you're bringing around your kid is right for your family.
Well, I've seen too many situations to where the boyfriend or the girlfriend harms the kid because it's not their child. You know, like I've always worried about how my ex-wife would bring dudes around. You know, because it wasn't that I cared about any of her business. I was more like, okay, how would they treat my child when they're not around? Because you're going to eventually leave your child around that person if they're around all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about, okay, you have molestation going on out here. You have people who will beat your kids. Then there's too many times you'll look in the news and a dude done killed some chick kid because they were crying too much. It wouldn't shut up. I've heard that story so many times.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nah, but my kid's old enough now, so I can really give a damn what she's doing. But it's just the fact is, like, when they was a little younger, it make you like, damn, what you got around my kids?
Yeah.
I mean, because she was quick to question me if I brought a woman around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it does get to the point where you're dating and you're bringing a lot of people in and out and shit like that, that can be a bad situation because you really don't. Everybody's nice whenever you first meet them, you know.
Oh yeah, they bring their representative.
Yeah, you don't.
Everybody bring their representative.
You don't really know what people are capable of until you've been through some shit with them.
Yeah, till you actually went through some hardship with them or something like that, and then that's when you see the real and see what people are really about.
Yeah. So do you think this woman's standards are even too ridiculous for Christian Mingle? Do you think she would have some success on Christian Mingle?
Probably not, because people our age, well, my age at least, you know, you're not gonna find too many without any kids.
Yeah,
I mean, the
thing
pool
also
gets smaller.
Yeah. I think she was 26 or something. She still has a pretty.
I think it was 28.
28,
and I was like 3 kids at 28. Damn, you've been working. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying. But for you to just sit there and say that this guy has to have a certain type of lifestyle and can't have kids, I mean, you really messing with a small group of guys. Yeah. And then you think about that, those guys gonna probably have options.
Yeah, and honestly, the dudes that do have kids, and maybe I'm not even gonna speak on the divorce thing, but just the dudes that do have kids, they may actually be a better option for you since you have kids, you know?
Probably would, because they would know how to handle some kids.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And they understand what it's like to have kids. Somebody that is more likely, I think, to harm your kids would be somebody that doesn't know what it's like to have kids.
But I mean, I wouldn't say harm. I would just say that there's things that your child probably shouldn't be exposed to.
Yeah.
With those people, they may end up being good dads. You just never know, because some people who grew up without fathers end up being great fathers. You know what I mean? So I just feel like for her to even just say that and put that in the atmosphere is like that. I don't want to meet those type of guys. You're really selling yourself short. Like a lot of times people don't realize how short they're selling themselves when they start putting these stipulations on things. And you don't even realize, I would respect it more if it's something that you just didn't do, like because the person wasn't a good person or something like that, but to just outright say, oh, I wouldn't talk to you because you have kids.
Without even getting to
know a person. Mm. So
yeah,
I don't want to deal with baby mama drama and don't even understand that the mother might be even dead,
Yeah, or y'all might actually get along. Like she might
could get along with
co-parent.
Yeah. So, but you just said this guy who's maybe a good person, you wouldn't even give him a chance, but you're a Christian though.
Yeah, it's contradictory.
It's very contradictory.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like she was just really kind of just talking.
Yeah, especially since most Christians, they are pretty open about coming from a low place. And a lot of them have made a lot of mistakes, and they're open and honest about the mistakes that they've made. And a lot of times they find connections with other Christians about that or through that. So it is kind of ironic, or it is kind of contradictory for you to shut off your options like that. Yeah. But she's got to live with it. That's her choice.
She the one got to deal with it. I just feel like it's just kind of like, in my opinion, I just think that I don't want to limit. I'm not going to set those type of limitations on myself. If a person is a good person, they take care of themselves, and they just trying to better themselves and grow, I'd rather try to get to know that person regardless on how many kids they have. Now, if they have like 5 or 6, I'm not trying to take care of that many kids, anything like that. But I will say it just depends. It depends on the person, because that person may not even need you to help them with their kids.
Yeah. Sometimes there's people out there that you could be in a relationship with, they have kids, and they don't even ask you to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they won't. They don't even really want you to do that.
You just kind of got to.
I'm here just to be around you.
Yeah, you just got to fill out the situation.
So you got to fill out the situation. I just feel like that's something that you really just got to fill out.
Yeah.
You just can't just come off and say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because of that." That's ignorant. That's kind of ignorant, in my opinion. And then as a person, who I do have kids. I'm not really looking for anybody to come in and play mother. I don't want you to be a mother to them. They're fine. They got a mother. No matter how I feel, what I think about it, that's their mother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would never take that away from them.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. I don't know much, but
yeah. Me personally, man, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't put limitations on myself like that either. I understand I'm not perfect. There's been periods in my life where I've just really messed up. I've really acted irresponsibly and have done some fucked up shit. And I wouldn't hold that against somebody, especially if they've put in the time and the effort to work on themselves and build themselves up and make themselves better. I would actually have a lot more respect for them. I wouldn't shut that opportunity out. And you might be shutting out somebody that has good character and has really learned from their mistakes, and you'll never get to experience life with that person.
Hey, probably wasn't meant to be.
Guess not.
Hey, well, that'll be our show. And please hit the like button if you like the show, and subscribe to the channel. You know who you watching? I'm Kel.
And I'm Jake.
And you have been kicking it with Kel and Jake. Peace.